I was waiting for this interview from long time because, like, you know, I wanted to have a freestyle interview. And most of the times when I heard you for the first time, I said, oh, here is the man. Let's have a bhayanak interview.
भाई टमाटो गिमाटो नहीं लाया ना आपने प्लीज
इसलिए हम लोग बहुत प्राइवेट चूजी ऑडियंस होते हैं, हमारे फॉलोअर्स ही होते हैं पूरे. So when like what was the first stint with a camera? You know, there's a fascination that, you know, when you are young and the first moment someone holds a camera. You know, I still remember my uncle is a photographer, so he's a fine arts guy. So the first Yashica camera was the memory which I have. Yeah.
Actually, my uncle and my mother's brother,
Right, Mama.
his mama, he's a friend. He's a photographer. It seems I never saw him.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I saw him, but I never saw him holding a camera.
Okay.
बचपन का है. So घर पे we used to have lots of film fallen here and there, and I used to just see it. But I don't know how it works and everything.
Did you see that hydrogen peroxide?
No, sorry. Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
And even my father is a marketing manager, so all the advertisement reels used to be stocked at my home. So there was a lane for me, like, you know, opening all and spoiling them to the possible.
Right.
So, and I also had this one, you know, right from my childhood, right from my 3rd class, I had a habit of collecting the vintage stuff like the coins or numismatics or philately or... So I always had that lane, you know, because you completed your 10th in 2004, as you said. I completed my graduation in 2004. So my generation saw lots of things like, you know, cassettes, large-sized floppies.
I know. I'm in the same.
You know, there is always a lean towards saving all those transition elements in my life. So
these days, no one saves anything. You know, tomorrow they want to forget Snapchat. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, what happens today should be over in today itself. Right?
So I always had a habit.
So the first camera was, which was the first camera which you used? Like
it's a D7000.
That's a pro one. But like, let's say when you started off.
Yeah, that was a mobile phone which I used. N95 from Nokia.
N95. Right.
It's the first camera which got the 5 megapixel and 1 GB space.
Great.
And once I bought it, all my friends baga gotter, sarpada gotter, because it was, you know, of 30,000 at that time.
Okay.
And they said you can get a vehicle or something else.
Right.
So there I started making all my snapshots, and, you know, all the social media stuff used to.
So what was the first picture, like, you still remember as a professional, which you clicked? What was the first thing? There are two things, you know, first picture you click and first picture which makes you, you know, feel like popular or fame.
You mean fame in sense or commercially? I didn't get you. Professional in the sense?
What are anything, whichever you choose, which had given you satisfaction or something like that?
The one I shot Charminar, which I can say, where I never thought that would be a strong picture at that time, you know. So it got spread very well, and, you know, wherever I posted it, earlier I used to have 5-6 likes from all those guys who are sitting at the back. I mean, my friends, I mean to say, 5, 10, 15, that's it. And once that Charminar came into my life, I multiplied into 1,000, and, you know, everyone started knowing me, Bobz.
Oh, everyone started recognizing.
Yeah, you know, wherever I go, people used to ask me, like, you know, you are the Bobz who clicked that monochrome Charminar one, where you shot it from, kind of.
So I as I started my talk, I felt like photography is an art. You know, he's an artist.
Yeah.
So how do you see today's wannabe, you know, there's something like wannapreneurs and wannabe photographers or something like that?
That's a beautiful question, actually, because, you know, today everyone got a camera in their pocket. It may be a mobile phone, or it may be a DSLR, or whatever it may be. But it's ending like only snapshots, actually, in the present day, because, you know, whatever you click is not an image. You're just capturing light and you're just capturing the moment, maybe. But it's in terms of art, no. For an art, every element into the frame should be considered, and the making of a picture is very important, you know, than just clicking and leaving off. For always, I say to my clients, like, you know, my pictures now, I don't want my pictures to end in the social media like Facebook or somewhere. It should hang on your wall for your life. So
what was one of the best compliments after you took up the professional route? Like, in photography thing. Which photograph it was? I know the Charminar one was one thing, but there are sometimes some commissioned arts or some works also give you the new perspective of your own self. Because an artist is always someone who is exploring himself, not the world.
So you mean which gave me proper reputation in the commercial world?
Yeah.
I can say Shreya Ghoshal one for her concert, and that was one good thing. And the one other beautiful thing is SP Balasubramaniam.
Did Shreya Ghoshal saw her own picture?
She posted on her Instagram.
Oh, she posted on her Insta. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so that was one good memory last year which I had, and SP Balasubramaniam sir's. It was one thing that he always recollects me even in the crowd and say, Junior Rabindranath Tagore was there.
Junior Rabindranath Tagore. Okay.
So that was a beautiful memory, kind of.
Nice metaphor, actually. Good comparison also. You might have to get that salt and pepper wala look.
I'm waiting for that.
You're waiting for that. So, apart from that, in different genres of photography, where do you see yourself? Because what's your personal liking as such? Every photographer has his own personal liking. For living is different.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a big lean towards the portraits.
Portraits.
And later, as I said, the habit of this collecting the vintage items and thing. These days, I'm working. I didn't post my most of the pictures on the social media these days, but I'm working on the tribes and the cultures of India. Most of the things like the festivals which are going around, or the tribes which are being. Most of the tribes are changed during the evolution, everyone is not wearing their own attire which we used to see earlier. So I'm just working on them, and I'm not posting those pictures on the online for the reason because I got to respect them.
Right.
So
how do you want to bring it out to the world, like those photographs, whatever you have clicked?
I'm very scared to show them into the public world, not at least in the online, because I've seen the beauty of photography, and I've also seen the misuse of photography in the present day life, because everyone is a photographer these days. And if you're going to...
And we have lots of designers sitting here. They can change the signature any day. Today, the world needs people to sell themselves every other day. You need to market yourself well. Otherwise, you're nowhere. The people think, today's world in social media, you need to be active, you need to be coming up, you need to be socializing. This is a kind of a ambiguous...
more like makes you professional.
Right.
If you have a particular number, that means you're a professional.
Correct.
I stopped doing that. I'm not posting my pictures. I'm posting my pictures. I'm not saying completely stopped. But the main pictures which I feel connected with, I'm not posting them anymore. Because I'm using... See, there is another world other than the social media which I found. So there are real competitions which are going outside on the photography aspects. So I'm just posting my pictures over there I'm just putting my pictures on before the proper judge, just to scale my pictures.
So how do you want to give it back to the next gen? A lot of people today, let's say, we cannot discourage someone who wants to become a photographer, but some right voices should be there to tell him, boss, this is this. Unless you speak out, at least in private or whatever it is, in a smaller group, how would people know? Now, let's say this video will reach out. Someone might be watching this video. He might be a photography club member in a college. So, what is the first thing that one needs to do?
I always say that one thing, like afford your learning first. Everyone feels that YouTube is giving you every information, so I'm a good photographer because I bought a camera. But a doctor, even the surgeries were also shown on YouTube. That doesn't mean you can do a surgery outside without learning that particular course. So in the same way, the photography,
I still remember.
It's an art, If you want to learn, you should have a proper mentor. Either you afford him or follow someone's work for a pretty long time, unless their pictures, their signature kind of what they're really trying to show, how the play of light is being done, and then claim yourself.
Are you taking any workshops kind of a thing on that note?
Yeah, I'm attending lots of workshops.
You're attending or you're
and
giving?
Also taking.
Okay.
I'm conducting few. and also I'm learning at the
So right now it is a full-time. It's
yeah, after
thing?
quitting my IT, yeah, I'm into the full-time photographer now.
No more. It's a hobby kind of a thing.
No, it's not like a commercial full-time photographer, but full-time photographer where I'm chasing behind my things.
Okay. So people always say the longest journey you travel is to you itself. You know, sometimes your photography or whatever it reflects you. So when you are meeting these tribes or different type of people, so some photographs, I know a photographer who got disturbed after clicking few pictures.
Even me.
So yeah, you named it. So it's like what goes in a psyche of a person or a photographer when he tries to click such pictures. What goes it's a tough thing to handle. Like
That's the reason I asked a question: how he skips his baggage before going home.
right.
See, because I am too emotional person, kind of, emotional in the sense, if I feel something good, I immediately appreciate him, and if I feel bad, immediately I shout at him. I can't balance by being very diplomatic, I mean to say. So I have seen many photographers. Recently I went to a Holi in Vrindavan. The Krishna's birthplace, Nandagaon. It was fully packed, a crowd, and there was one old man. He was mentally not strong enough for sure. I am sitting on the first floor and watching him. And there was one photographer, sorry photographers if it's being harsh to you, but seriously. He collected all the garbage from the floor and he kept on his head and had his picture done. I watched that and I felt it was very, very, very unethical to do such kind of that in front of thousands of photographers over there. And if I keep that garbage on your father's head or someone's head, how painful it is to you. And the next scene which I saw is some other guy came and washed his head, and I felt, oh, there was a good Samaritan still on the earth. But he pulled the colors on him as his wish and he made another picture. So I felt real bad. Sometimes it confuses me whether
You should have took a video of this.
I'm very far from my
okay.
distance. Even if you take that, there's no use these days.
There's no use.
No use, I don't think.
So fine. Maybe on a lighter note.
On the lighter note,
yeah.
Before concluding, even this is worst with the tribes.
Okay.
People, they go into their places and we disturb their personal life, and for our kind of pictures. Maybe it may end in the social media or sometimes you may go for the competition or what. But if you take an example, like in Orissa, there was one tribe where they only put the beads on them. And if such pictures are misused in the sense, not every viewer is a good person. So there is always a misuse happening everywhere. So that's the reason, I enjoy my pictures. I know where to place them. I just place them before the proper artist who can view it in an art corner. That's it. I don't want extra likes or extra reach.
No, so whenever I see you, I feel there are no filters in your life. Because the reason why I'm saying like these days, whatever pictures you see online, there are a lot of filters as such. So what do you feel the post-processing which happens by a lot of photographers? Is it good? Like, it's a very big debate on that.
No, it's not at all bad.
It is not at all
bad. It's not at all bad because, we all come from, once we're going somewhere, for example, if you're coming out of the house, you'll prepare yourself before the mirror, right? Just for the attention, like you want to be beautified. In the same way, every picture needs to be presented properly. The cameras are not at all, they give beautiful pictures, but it's your vision which you want to present to the viewers. So it's not a bad way, but there is always a thin line, how much you can do and how much you shouldn't do. I can't show a sky in a green color. I can show in a beautiful orange or blue, that's acceptable. But if I want to show the sky in green, no, that's not acceptable.
Awesome. So we'll take some questions from the audience as such. So we have any questions from the audience?
Am I too boring?
Yeah.
A good picture of mine till now?
how do you get satisfied? Like, let's say
What is
you
a good
click it.
no? What is a good picture according to me? A good picture can be anything. I mean, whatever you see it and whatever you want to present, if it's meeting the balance of it, yes, it's a good picture. मैं कुछ देखा और I mean, if I present it in some other way, that's an accidental picture. You understood or should?
So understand.
No, there are some
otherwise
pictures
you
which we get
dictionary.
accidentally, you know. They are not your good pictures. If I see the Golgappa and if I shot it as is and if I want to present that as it is looking, it's a good picture.
Don't make them remember Golgappas. They're waiting. So yeah, second one. Anusha, you wanted to ask her. She's a budding. She wants to get into photography or videography as such. Yeah, tell me once. Yeah.
Please.
Once, I think mic. She might need a mic. Yeah.
Okay. These days there are plenty of photographers. You see in every street there are 10 photographers. So
Don't call them photographers.
no. It's nice, you know. So how do you differentiate yourself from all these people? What keeps you going even after so many years to stay in this profession? And you say it's an art. So what's about this art that makes you stick to it even after these many years?
I'll ask you a simple question back. If you go to Hampi or any heritage place, if you had an old building and a temple, I mean, of equal ages, I mean, if it is built on 1982, for example, it's not too old, but for an example, which one you visit first? A temple or the old house?
The old house.
No, temple.
I would visit
Because
old
it's
house.
built by an artist, a sculpture. So if I want to be an artist, I'm still a learner. So I want my pictures to be remembered for the next generations, you know. What I'm trying to make these days, I want them to be the reference for the future generation. So if I say the XYZ tribe I have shot, they should be looking like XYZ itself. They should not be with, you know, with shades on their face and yo symbol before them. I've seen people who ask, like, you know, putting the yo symbols and yo. I don't want to make such kind of pictures.
Well,
I
there's a
want my
difference,
pictures to be. If someone in the future, like the younger generations, if they want to see, if they see, it should resemble what present is being exactly looking like.
So there are people who climb Mount Alwal and Mount Kilimanjaro. There's a difference. You know, some people climb Mount Alwal and call themselves as a photographer or a mountaineer. But Mount Kilimanjaro is a bit tough. So the same difference is someone holding a camera and seeing it as an art.
You understood what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I
Because
got
the art, for me, the artist sails a long distance than a normal photographer.
So there's one thing: two creative people never like each other. Two photographers never like each other.
It's not liking, but yeah, there is always a jealous corner happens, you know, because I look something, I mean, you in this direction, but my friends may look you in the other direction.
My right is your left types.
But yeah, it's because of the art maybe.
And creative people are often considered as lazy. Are you
Too lazy.
You're too lazy? Go visit a salon. So it's like, is being lazy good these days? Like,
That's where the technology evolved, right?
no? The technology has evolved in a lazier way.
Yeah, because if you have, for an example, if you take mathematics, earlier days they used to compute. Now the computers or the calculators or even the watch has a calculator now. So on mobiles. So are we getting lazier?
Evolution is becoming lazy
It's transforming a much lazier.
because of the laziness. And every business is all about because of the laziness.
They're
Some
encashing
people
that.
are asking questions on live
Please.
because they are lazy.
Hey, I have another question. Is that all right?
Please,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
please.
Yeah. So I know plenty of photographers. So they made their profession or a passion or whatever very commercial. So they say, okay, I'm getting an event, so I'll do it. Then later, when there are no events, they'll be like, okay, I'll do something else. So what is your take on this, and do you have anything to say to such people? The ones who had made it very commercial, like I do it for money. So do you have anything to say to such people?
See, it's not a bad thing, to opt photography for commercial aspects. Obviously, everyone loves money these days, even me. But what I say is learn it properly than just milking it on the first day. See, photography is not that, there was one saying in photography, to know your particular genre, it takes 5 years duration of proper learning. So, once you're investing, it's not only investing on your camera or an equipment which you're buying, but invest on the knowledge. Try to attend the workshops, whatever your favorite genres are. Try to buy a book. You can say, I know pretty 90% photographers these days, I know how many are reading books these days. Because YouTube is everything they feel, but you can't ask a question to the YouTube, right? So I always suggest hire your mentor. Choose your mentor.
Mentors everywhere in Hyderabad. You need mentors.
Yeah, everyone who had a camera became a mentor these days.
There are mentors. I also know. Put your ISO very less.
That's very
I'm also a mentor.
Comfortable answer actually. I've seen a mentor who completed her 6 years of education in a university. She don't know what's metadata even. That's a basic thing which every photographers know.
So how many people need mentors? There's overflow of mentors in Hyderabad. You will get many.
I just said choose your proper mentor.
Proper mentor.
I mean,
he meant it right actually. The reason why I said it's not just about photography. Everywhere.
Because we are in very rush to prove ourselves. I mean, or very rush to gain attention.